what's up everybody? It's Jordan Klemons with NYC Jazz Guitar Masterclasses. I just want to share a quick video with you today showing how you can create the sound of an altered dominant just with one single major triad. We don't need chord tones, we don't need the melodic minor scale, we don't need the 7th mode of melodic minor. We can use all those things, but I want to show you how we can do it with one triad, and I want to show you why it's actually pretty cool to do it this way. There's some interesting benefits that we can get for our lines. I'm not going to talk about the theory just yet. I want to play for a second because I want your ear to hear things before your intellect tries to understand what it's hearing. I just want you to hear some really cool phenomenon that happen when we think with the triad. So I want you to hear the tension and resolution that's happening here. Can you hear how one note wants to move to the next? Right, don't worry about what notes I'm playing right now, just use your ear. Maybe even close your eyes. Okay, let's call that the first tension note. Comment below and say, yes, I hear the first tension note wanting to move, or no, I don't. That's the same pitch, I'm just in a different octave now. Now I'm an octave up above it. Okay. Can you hear how that note has a tension to it that wants to pull down to the note just below it? We're going to talk about what this note is in a minute. I just want you to listen first. This note, we're going to call this the second tension note. See if you can hear how this one wants to move. Can you hear how it's like, there's like an urge there, there's an emotion to it, a tension, and it really wants to resolve. There's the first tension note again, and here's the second tension note again. Comment below before I explain anything and just say, don't hear it at all, Jordan, or yeah, I'm totally on board with you, okay? So here's what's really fascinating about this. I'm not thinking about chord tones, I'm not thinking about scales, I'm thinking about a triad, that's it. And the triad I'm thinking about over this G altered dominant, I'm thinking of an E flat major triad. Can you hear how it sounds kind of just like I was playing before, but now there's no tension happening? That tension note, in case you didn't cheat and look at my fretboard, is a B natural note. Okay? Now let's think in terms of E flat for a second. We have to think about two different things. If we're thinking about E flat, because that's the triad I'm playing, B natural is a flat 6 or a minor 6 up above E flat. Right? It's a minor 6 up, it's the flat 6 of E flat. The flat 6 has a tendency to want to pull down to the 5th. That's the tension that we're hearing. Okay, so I call that a tension flat 6. Okay, we're playing E flat, tension flat 6. Okay, that's a B natural note resolving down to a B flat. Now what's weird about that, if you haven't already figured out, is that we're doing this over a G7 chord. So what's happening here is that because we're relying on the E flat triad and the B natural note is a tension note, the B note, which is actually the 3rd of G, remember I said we have to think about two different things at the same time, the B natural note, which is the 3rd of G, which is a very strong chord tone. If you've taken any theory classes or read any theory books, B is like one of the most important notes to highlight when we're playing over G7, but your ear hopefully can hear that in this situation, it's actually a tension note, right? It's not a stable, quote-unquote, chord tone. It's a melodic tension. It wants to move down to the sharp 9. Okay? The next tension tension note we played was the F natural note, which I would call tension 2, because F is the 2 of the E flat major triad. Right, there's tension 2, root note, that's F, E flat. Now the F is the flat 7 of our G dominant chord, which we're currently playing over. That's what my sustain pedal's playing for us. So that's pretty weird, right? The 3rd and the 7th, those are generally the 2 most important notes that we're told we have to highlight when we're improvising, right? 1, 3, 5, 7 for a dominant chord. But in this particular context, in this tonal situation, the 3rd and the flat 7th are actually preventing us from getting to this particular sound, right? They're both tension notes. If we try and resolve a line to them, if we try and start a line on them without realizing that they want to move somewhere else, then we can still play over G7, but we're going to miss this particular vibe of G7, which is a great vibe. It's basically G altered dominant. That was a G7 to a C minor. Plug this right into 2 5-1s, we can plug it into tunes, we can do whatever we want with it, but the idea is start with the triad and then add the 3rd and the 7th to that triad, learn to hear them and use them as tension notes. So we have a pentatonic scale now, it's a 5-note scale, but 3 of those notes are stable and in for this harmony, which is a very tense harmony, but they're in with that harmony, and 2 of the notes are actually melodic tension notes. Comment below, let me know if you could hear all these tensions and if this makes sense. This is what I call melodic triads. It's how I pretty much think about everything. We can develop chord voicings using this. We can do melodies, improvisation, composition. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you're into it, we have a melodic triad study group that we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. We have new study material every month. I'll post a link in the description to that study group if you want to come hang with us. I'll see you guys in another video. Happy practicing.